At Titus Restoration, we are more than a nationwide concrete polishing contractor. We also specialize in the removal of VCT and VCT Mastic. VCT, or vinyl composition tile, is inexpensive in the short run and is widely popular flooring choice. Because it needs to be washed and waxed regularly, maintenance costs higher than polished concrete, and eventually will need removal and reinstallation. In this video, we will discuss the procedure for removing VCT for customers who are switching to polished concrete or replacing their VCT. It is important to always walk the job with the superintendent and discuss your scope of work with them to make sure their expectations are managed. If your project has vinyl base installed, this must be removed, if contracted to do so, prior to removing the VCT. As demonstrated, remove the base by sliding a putty knife between the wall and the wall baseboard from the top, pulling off as much as you can by hand while continuing to scrape with the putty knife. Once removed, dispose of the base as it cannot be reused. Once the base has been removed, prepare for VCT removal using an air compressor, pneumatic oiler, and Trelawney scrapers. Plug in your air compressor and attach the air hose to the pneumatic oiler. Connect a second air hose from the oiler to the Trelawney. Once the oiler connection is set up, fill it with the air-to oil prior to using the Trelawneys. Without the proper oiling, the line to the Trelawneys rust and other damage will occur. When using the air compressor and removing VCT, always remember to wear the required safety gear, such as gloves, goggles, earplugs, or a respirator. The Trelawney is a pneumatic scraper that will allow the tile to be lifted off using a vibrating motion. Before starting the Trelawney, check to make sure the blades are sharp. You can easily change the blades by removing the 2 screws in the blade and attaching a new blade. Do not misplace the Trelawney bolts and screws. Make sure you have plenty of extra blades with you before you leave for a job. Depending on the size of the job, you might need to replace them during removal. Turn on the air compressor and place the blade of the scraper on a seam of the tile. This will be a good place to start to extract the tile. Hold on to the scraper and push steadily with force. This will release the tile from the floor. Note: during the Trelawney operation, it is important to frequently drain the air compressor of moisture. Also check the oil levels in the oilers and make sure they haven't been compromised by too much moisture in the lines. This is indicated by a milky oil. Mastic will be under the tiles. This is a form of glue used by the contractor to set the tiles. There are a few forms of mastic. Black mastic is an older version of glue that contractors used pre-1984. Black mastic may contain asbestos, as was used most commonly under 9-inch square tiles. It is important to contact the project manager to let them know if black mastic is discovered. Some states require certified and licensed asbestos removal contractors, and there are heavy fines if these regulations are not followed. Tan mastic is the newer form of tile and carpet glue. This glue is easier to dispose of by scraping and polishing and does not contain asbestos. Once the VCT has been extracted, sweep up the remains and the mastic removal process can begin. We will discuss mastic removal in another training video. Benefits to removing VCT and carpet and polishing the natural concrete are: lower maintenance, increased durability, highly cost-effective, has an aesthetic value, additional design flexibility, and creates sustainable architecture. Remember to always be clean and courteous while on the job. If any questions or doubts arise during a job, always call and ask someone. We want to do the job right the first time. We hope this helps you in your training. We strive to provide the highest quality our customers want and deserve. Thank you for watching.